This is my van. A few months ago I drove all the way from Switzerland to Cornwall, and on the way I thought about tires. It is official that all cars and motorcycles lose tire dust on streets. I started to wonder what happens to all this plastic in nature. To get in touch and start the process, I produced this short video to show in an ironic way how the streets are full of tire rubber. I drove to a nice place close to the sea and brushed the streets. Further on I went to the roundabout next to Wood Lane. In only 6 minutes I counted 110 cars and one motorcycle. A motorcycle means that 442 tires went by. After that I collected some important facts. One tire lasts around 40,000 kilometers. A car tire weighs 1 to 1.5 kilograms less at the end of its life. In Germany, 120,000 tons of tire abrasion are put into circulation every year. Tires contain synthetic rubber, which is not biodegradable. There are filter systems, but rubber substances dissolve in rainwater. And this water turns toxic, and this has also a lethal effect on fish species. It happens that sewage systems are overloaded, especially in the UK, and unfiltered rainwater flows into rivers and streams and the sea. I remembered the works from Swiss artist Roman Signer, which inspired me a lot. He also worked with tire rubber and tires. Also, works of Gabriel Orozco and Mike Nelson. All these artists work with tires, but the intention is not like in, for example, Olafur Eliasson's work. Behind his works there is mostly an environmental activistic message. My work meant to be a mix of these different artworks. I organized an old tire and immediately started to sand tiny particles. I was surprised how easy it was. But currently the big question for me was how to create a work to show the problem. I started sketching different ideas, which you can see here. In the workshop I started to build a machine out of wood. To let the wheel spin, it is possible to turn on a handle. This video shows how I experimented with sandpaper to ground off rubber particles, which are collecting on the bottom of the box.
Just means it's not raining now.
So far my object is working. It's possible to produce tire dust with it. I experimented with different surfaces and roughnesses, such as sandpaper, but also pieces of street. To be more precisely, the work should represent exactly what it is looking like in reality. So I like to use an old used piece of street instead of sandpaper. It is important to collect the particles. Due to the fact that all this plastic ends up in the sea, I planned to put a box filled with water under the tire and let the particles float. Therefore, I built a waterproof box out of wood, acrylics and silicone. The last step was to build a lever out of a wooden board, which is pushing the piece of street against the tire. This step was quite tricky. The scale must be totally balanced out that the friction is not too strong and people are still able to turn the wheel. The interactive part is very important for my work. Only if people are turning it, particles are produced. Interaction, in my opinion, can be very useful to give people something on their way. To look critically at my work, I have to say it is a work in progress, and it could be just a prototype. I always wanted to build the machine out of metal, but it fulfills already like this it's proposed, and you can see the particles swimming in the water. Because it is not possible for me to take the wooden machine back to Switzerland, I am planning to build the work out of metal and show it in an exhibition at Uni Bern. I see myself in the position to show all human beings are involved in this problem, and we must do something together, so anyone who sees my work might start to think about it. The difficulty with my work is probably that its artistic perspective is questioned. It could also be exhibited in a science museum. For me, it is important to say that this machine is unique, as long as it fulfills its purpose and was built by me as an artist. The work is considered art to me.